Welcome into today's episode of More Important Issues. Coming at you a day later, Easter holiday. Hope you guys had a good time with your family, friends, by yourself. Well, I just hope it was whatever what you wanted Easter to be. It's a holiday, so I hope you did enjoy that. We're here though. We took a break from each other. Not that I don't like Landon. We took a break from each other, but we're back now on Monday night. I know we already had our guy Chris give us hell about it being, the day of the national championship game. Well, the good news is it doesn't tip off until 9:20. So,
Yep.
Little pregame show. We're going to get you guys out of here in time. Don't worry.
Yeah. NCAA just – why do you just keep making stupid decisions? Everything you do just makes zero sense.
What I hate is I'm going to stay up for it. Like I have to watch one shiny – I can't not watch one shiny moment.
It's true.
So I'll be up all night. It sucks. I'm an old man. Like I'm going to be in my bed watching it, but I'm going to be up for one shiny moment. So we will talk about the national championship game. It's in there. Don't worry. We're also talking spring practice. Tennessee football still chugging along. Even if numbers are slowly dwindling down, they are making the most of it. We'll talk about those bad headlines. And I mean, even the ones that aren't even in the program anymore are somehow still making headlines. It's baffling. We'll also talk. It is. We'll talk about some recruiting news. Not just football. We've also got there's some basketball news going on, talking about Justin Powell to the Hill. Also, Tennessee has found a replacement for, I would assume, Kim English, because it wasn't announced until Saturday or Sunday that Tennessee basketball was losing an additional staff member to ETSU. But they did go ahead and get one of those spots filled. We'll talk about that a little bit tonight. Don't worry. Tennessee baseball goes on the road, series win. First time since 2001 that Tennessee baseball has started the year off with 3 SEC series wins. Tennessee, mark it down. Baseball school. Write it down.
Yeah, we didn't even do that against in the year we went to the College World Series.
Right.
So, something to hang your hat on, something to kind of build around. Yeah, it's not, the 3 series wins, they're not those teams in the top 15. I think there's 7 SEC teams in the top 15 right now. But you want to win on the road, and 2 of those are on the road, so you can't ask for much more from this baseball team.
Right, and you can't win 3, 4, 5 series in a row if you don't win 3 series in a row.
True.
So you got to get off. You got to get to at least 3 first. I'm not great at math. I'm not great at counting, but I think you got to get to 3 before even thinking about 4 or 5. But yeah, great start for Tennessee, and I mean really kind of grinded that out. We'll of course dive deeper into that, and again, Tennessee baseball just taking on the mantra of Tony Vitello, grinding wins out. We're also going to talk about Gonzaga and Baylor. Tonight. So first off, drop questions. If you got them, we'll get to them. We've got a few to get to later on in the show. Tell us where you're listening from. Tell us your bets, because I made some. I'm not confident in them. I might even walk back some bets. Tell us money line. Landon said he's kind of feeling money on Baylor now. You've got that Gonzaga boost on DraftKings. Where's the money going tonight from the people listening to More Important Issues? I want to know. You might change my mind. You might get me on betting on somebody else, because I'll tell you, I don't want to get into it too much right now. I know we'll talk about it later. Gonzaga got to the national championship. I feel like if they were gonna, I don't know, how do you ruin a perfect season tonight, right? You've got everything to get up for now. There's nothing to look ahead to.
Yeah, and you've had that close game where, it just feels like Gonzaga is just destined to win after that Final Four game.
Yeah. Baylor's a fun team to watch. It's going to be a fun game. That's what does piss me off too. I wish it was 2 teams that I'm like, I don't even want to watch. I don't care. This is the game everyone's been waiting. Someone said it best. After not having March Madness this year or last year, after the kind of craziness that's been March Madness this year, the fans deserve this. This game.
Yeah, I mean, these are the 2 best teams since November, so it's
Right.
not a huge surprise. But people didn't put them in the bracket, in the national championship in their bracket, because it was so obvious.
Whoa,
Some people did. I did in one of mine, but there's always that. They're probably not going to just because.
I mean, we talked about it, filling it out. It was 2 1 seeds. Really, come on.
And then there was
just
almost
2 1 seeds, number 1 and number 2, not just 2 1 seeds. Number 1 and number 2 are in it. They deserve it. Like I said, guys, drop where you're listening from in the chat. Tell us what the bet, where the money's at tonight. Tell us where to go. Help me win some money.
Go check out our sponsors, Tennessee Tap House, Hound Dogs, and Blue Water Climate Control. Also, go check out our network, Volunteer Roadshow. They do a great job of making the show possible. So go check them out. Go check us out on Twitter. You ready to get this thing going?
Yeah, I'm gonna go use the bathroom, grab a last second drink, place my bets in, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
Balls are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, could be Wayne.
I think I got my swagger back. Oh,
I love it, baby.
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins. That is by Tennessee to one Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Monday, April 5th. I almost said Sunday. It's April. It's a great month. The weather is warm. I sat on a patio for dinner tonight. Spring is back, like Texas. Spring is back.
Feels good.
It feels
really
great. I dread what it's gonna be when I go take the dog out after the show. But today just felt phenomenal. Jordan, I said Texas is back, and everyone's going, "Come on, Caleb." They lost to Abilene Christian in the first round this year. Their football team's abysmal. Guys, Jordan Spieth just won the Valero Open. He's about to go win the Masters. Texas is back.
Did you just jinx it though?
No, I didn't. I spoke it into existence. I've
Okay.
got and a lot of people are going, "Caleb, where's your Masters gear?" It's Masters week. Guys, Vol Baseball got their third series win in a row, SEC series win. Priorities. And Wednesday, I'll have the Master stuff on. It didn't match the orange, and I had to wear the baseball shirt. Landon had this shirt ready for me Friday when I came into town. I had to wear it for the night show.
It was good to see you. I haven't seen you. I felt like I haven't seen you in months.
It was a great Friday, and I'm going to be in town for like the next couple weeks because I'll probably be in town. I'll be in town this weekend, probably be in town the weekend after, and then the weekend after that, I think we're going to gate our tails off.
We should.
Guys, come hang out. We're going to do it. I don't know. We'll figure it out like logistically later. We're not logistic guys. We're just do it guys. So we'll figure it out as we go. We want y'all to come hang out.
Before we'll just decide and go do something.
Exactly. We didn't tailgate at all this year, so we want y'all to come hang out with us before the orange and white game. We got to get prepped for the fall. Right now, we're not in SEC shape, so we got to get going. We'll tailgate before the orange and white game. Speaking of that, spring practice report. Good news, I guess. Let's or like as good of news as we can. Let's start on that.
Yeah, it just seems like this team, like we mentioned before, just having fun. So I guess that's a positive. We haven't heard a ton about spring practice, who's looking good. Obviously there's a ton of defensive linemen, so that's good, but there's not a ton of linebackers. Josh Heupel kind of mentioned some of the receivers who have really stuck out, and those were Bayless Jones Jr., Jimmy Callaway, and Cedric Tillman. So that was kind of interesting to me to hear Cedric Tillman, because when you think about this offense, you think of speed, and more speed.
Yeah.
And Cedric Tillman just really doesn't fit that. But is he a different kind of guy, so that makes him stick out? Do you think that's fair to say?
I think speed's going to be utilized in Josh Heupel's offense. But one thing I've noticed too is finding space. It's going to be about like game savvy guys. So is he going to be the fastest guy? No. You just said that, and then, like, tape shows it, and his stats show that. Like, no, he's not going to be the fastest guy. Can he run good routes, and can he find space? Because if he can do those things, he'll find himself on the field for Josh Heupel.
Yeah, so I was kind of thinking, like, who's your third receiver? Because I think we can all agree on Bayless Jones Jr., Jalen Hyatt would probably be 1 and 2. to me. Do you disagree with that, or
No. You got third receiver is what I was. I don't. What do you call that noise? The noise. I don't know. That's why I made that. Yeah, that one. I don't know who your third receiver is. That's that's probably a good question, but I think too. I don't know how much. I'm curious to see the wide receiver rotations because just how, like you said, how fast not just they play, but how fast the offense actually goes.
Yeah. You got to think that you'd have guys in and out of there, especially if you're running a bunch of go routes.
Yeah.
If they're 50 yards down the field and you're wanting to run a play in 3 seconds, you're going to have to throw guys in and out. So, maybe it's by committee, but, I'm interested to see who that third guy is.
Yeah, and I guess if you're going just kind of based off experience, it's got to be either Ramel Keaton or Cedric Tillman, right?
I'm thinking more of Jimmy Callaway.
Okay. But that's not based on experience, though, then. If I'm saying if you're just going like guys who play the most currently on the roster, then I think, those are the only two left, really. Now, Malachi Wideman, I guess, played a little bit last year.
Yeah, I think if you're just going based off experience, it'd be either one of those two. And probably, I would think Ramel Keaton has more experience than Cedric Tillman.
Right.
So if we're going that, Ramel Keaton. I just, he didn't mention Ramel Keaton, so I don't know exactly where he is in the rotation. I'm sure he will be in the mix. But I'm thinking more of Jimmy Callaway just because he is available. You're hearing more about him.
Right.
He's he fits that need for speed, if you will. Like you CF North said, Cedric Tillman is a big dude, so he's that different kind of athlete on the outside. You have a bunch of speed guys, a bunch of little, what do you call them, scat backs, or I'm trying to think. What's?
They're just speedy receivers. Is that you're talking about the receiving group?
Yeah, they're
just
like inside guys.
Right. There's definitely you've got. The good news is you've got a ton of speed. Jimmy Callaway, Jimmy Holiday, Ethan Dixon just asked about Jalen Hyatt. Yes, Jalen Hyatt and Velus Jones Jr. We're discussing right now number 3. Number 1 and 2. Me and Landon can agree. I don't know if you guys agree. It's Jalen Hyatt and Velus Jones Jr. Pick your order. I don't think it matters. We're talking about number 3 though. You do still have a ton of option there with speed, even though you mentioned it. Cedric Tillman's the name that's been thrown out, who isn't the fastest guy even of the people that are left outside of Jones Jr. and Hyatt. But are they looking for maybe a different type of receiver, trying to maybe getting those guys out behind the secondary and then trying to find a guy that's really good at getting into space? Sure, they'd love, you would love space. You'd love a guy who can find space with speed. But if Cedric Tillman's the best at it, then you're going to go with him.
Yeah, I just think if you're looking for a different kind of wide receiver, a bigger type of guy that can go up and get the football, how can it not be Malachi Wideman?
And that, I think I like Tillman in terms of different receivers. I like Tillman and Wideman both. Yep.
So we'll see, kind of how spring. I'm sure the orange and white game we'll get to see a lot more. Just maybe they'll do some open practices like we've seen some other schools do around college football. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, no, for sure. I would love to see it. I was about to say before you mentioned that, when's the next episode of the Juice Drop? Because last week you talked me into winning 5 games. Can you get me to 6 or 7 this week?
Not with the bad headlines.
We're
going backwards.
Okay, good point. So the Juice is going to have to keep me at 5. The Juice is going to have to keep me at 5.
Correct.
Jake Taylor mentioned Juwan Jennings wasn't the fastest guy. No, Juwan Jennings, first off, Juwan Jennings would start on any team if I had like the deciding factor, because he's a dog and you can't there's no factor in sports that can overcome. Obviously you have to have some talent there, but the dogness, if you will.
Just imagine if he had like 4.4 speed.
Well, he would be playing on Sundays right now, not not up and down on practice squads and whatnot. So
right.
He would definitely be UCF North mentioned it. I'm not worried about our offense. Yeah, I mean, the offense is definitely not the question, which will that'll go ahead and take us into, I guess, the bad headlines. Unless you have anything else you want to mention about spring practice.
No, I mean, you're thin at linebacker and you're getting even thinner.
Even thinner. Tennessee is looking at a way to honor their former athletic director. Gonna take the former Cup. Oh, does Tennessee get credit for guy who left, got shot in the leg? That guy. Does Tennessee get credit for him?
Brandon Davis.
Brandon Davis, yeah.
I mean, he's at JUCO right now. So
right, right. Do they get credit? He was here when he got shot. Also, I'm not familiar with the judicial process at all. Like, not. But is it just like, are cops just like, yeah, we think you got shot by someone else. Case closed. We're good. Like, that's it? That's all we're going to do?
Yeah, like, how was there no more questions?
Yeah. Oh,
I guess I have way more questions than that cop or whoever spoke to him ever had.
Correct. Again, I'm not familiar with it. Maybe if we have a police officer in the chat, like, how would you handle that if you arrived and then you were still investigating 6 months later? Like, would you just be like, his friend shot him? Cool. He ain't going to give us a name. Well, case closed.
Yeah, my thing is, like, it was like, oh, we think you shot yourself. And he was like, no, I didn't shoot myself. Then you ask, like, okay, who shot you? Also,
and I've got to, yeah, that is definitely interesting. Also, like, I would like to make it clear, too, it was in a public place. It wasn't like he got shot in his own home. Like, someone had a gun at a bar.
Yeah, like.
And, like, I don't know. I have so many questions. The point, I mean, I think to say all this, because we do have to move along, because we are going to, like I said, pregame you guys into the national championship. I could make jokes about this all night long because it's absurd. Like, it's an absurd story. But he's not at Tennessee anymore, so it doesn't relate to Tennessee football in the slightest.
And, like, okay, so they find out that this guy accidentally shot this guy who's no longer here. But the guy is still on the team.
Oh, the guy that they think shot him is still on the team?
The suspect is still on the team, yes.
So he is a suspect, or did they close it? I thought they just said done, closed, like that's it.
I think he was a suspect.
Okay.
But he didn't want to pursue legal action. I don't know. I don't understand, like,
I
don't understand why the story came back up in the first place.
Well, if the guy's still on the team, I understand why the story came back up. I wasn't aware there was a guy still here. I thought they had both left.
No, apparently the guy is still on the team.
So I didn't read that correct. Okay.
And then I read that Alante Taylor and Trayvon Flowers was with Brandon Davis, but neither one of them were the suspect.
This is the weirdest thing ever. Don't go to Uptown, kids, is the story.
And then they said it was too loud to hear a gunshot?
I believe that. I've been to Uptown. I believe
that.
I know.
I believe that too, but, like, no one saw anything? That's the weirdest part to me.
Someone said Brandon Davis came out and said he took the blame for the team. So did he shoot himself? Is that what he's claiming?
Well, then he claimed on Twitter, he's like, no, I didn't shoot myself. Okay, well, then you did. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't understand.
My biggest question about all of this, it has nothing to do with really like the story, so to speak, or like the who's taking the blame. My question is, why does the police not care at all?
Yeah. And also, like, how do you accidentally shoot your own teammate in a public place? Why do you have a gun in a public place, for one? And number two, like, why are you fiddling around with it that it goes off and shoots somebody in the leg?
You don't just fiddle with your gun when you're out?
I guess. I don't have one in a public setting.
Whoa, so you don't tell people that. You're going to get messed up.
I don't have one on. It's not in my pocket.
Good Lord, dude. So apparently, according to UCF North, he took the blame when it first happened. Now he's like, hey, I didn't shoot myself. I don't know. It's again, the story is absurd. We're never going to find out. I am more baffled that the KPD seems to just be like, like, that's it. No, we're good.
Boys will be boys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this is nuts. That story's nuts. And then you talked about getting thin at linebacker. And what I hate about this part of the story is like you got to say, like, I don't want to just go out and immediately say like, dude's guilty, because we don't know. Like, we know one side, but like even the fact that someone is willing to say that about you, like that you did that, I think it either one says a lot about his character or it says a lot about her character. Like, and then if you're hanging around those kind of people, not good anyways, because something bad was bound to happen. But dude, it's just
what's crazy to me is like, what can a 6-month-old cat do to somebody to make them want to do it to a cat?
Yeah, the story is disgusting. Like, to do to any animal, to any human being, like anything like that, like it's just, I mean, if he did any of that, like if he harmed that cat in any way, in my opinion, kick him off the team, because like he obvious, like I don't know, like that's just like,
yeah, he's obviously a threat.
you've got more. I don't know. It's hard to say.
You've got some demons that you need to take care of.
I mean, like animal abuse is like a sociopathic tendency, right? I mean,
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's just, again, I'll never understand that kind of stuff. Like, I get some of the mistakes that like college kids make. No, I'm not talking about shooting yourself in the leg. That's not that kind of mistake.
Or shooting your teammate.
Or shooting your team, whichever one it was. I'm not talking about those kind of mistakes. Like, if like this was like one of those where it's like, hey, dude was at the like wrong place, wrong time, or like, hey, he just really shouldn't be with those people. Like, I get it, but like you said, like what comes over you to do that? If any part of the story is true, I don't think that's a kid making a mistake. It's just like you're a dick. Like, you're a dickhead.
Yeah.
If it's true, I don't know. I'm not saying anything about, I don't know Aaron Beasley personally. I'm not saying he is or isn't this person. I'm just saying, if any of that's true, like you got problems. Let's just be honest.
Yep. Yeah. There's no room for you in this program if any of that story's true. But again, you can't dive into it. It sucks from a depth perspective because Tennessee doesn't have any depth.
Oh, why could you not have been a running back?
Yeah. I mean,
I hate it for like, it sucks like for the girl and the cat. Like I mean, if someone did that to my dog, I don't know what I would do.
Exactly.
So like, I certainly like, it sucks and I hate it. And I hate it for like the girl, the girlfriend, I guess, of him. Like the fact that like, she obviously didn't do anything to the cat, but now she is like in the middle of all. Like, it sucks.
And she has to live with a roommate.
I would hope there has been like, I don't know what's happened. Because and even like the text messages that were in the Athletic article by David Ubben are just like disturbing on so many levels too. It's just not, yeah. And you're still waiting to hear. Move past the Aaron Beasley situation. Still waiting to hear about, someone mentioned French and Willis. It sounds like Caden Salter's charges got dropped completely. Is that right?
I didn't hear that.
I thought I saw that this weekend. Could have dreamt it. It's possible. I thought I saw that now it's just kind of like waiting, holding pattern, see if he gets reinstated. I thought I saw that. I can double check. So but I mean, too many, like, I don't know what's going on with this program. I don't know if it's because it's in a transition period. And like, it's just, and then like COVID, like you're not in the building as much as normal. I mean, I hope Jeremy Pruitt isn't that bad at judging character, that like all of this is just who they are. Like, I hope this is just like, which, I mean, they're adults. All of them are like, regardless, it's their mistake to own. But man, like, how is all of this happening in the span of a few months?
Yeah, like weeks.
It sucks. It sucks for like the guys involved in the program.
Yeah, and guys that have an impact, like Aaron Beasley. Like, with the depth you have right now at linebacker, you're one of the most experienced guys in that group. You would think that he would be able to make an impact this season.
Right.
But, you make can you even call it a mistake? Because
again, if everything I heard, like if what's been said is true, no, I don't know how you could call that a mistake.
Yep, I agree.
UCF North said he said Salter's case got dropped. He thought all of them had, but he said don't hold him to that. So
okay,
yeah.
Well, I was gonna say about that, like if nothing has come about that yet, it feels like it's more than just what we thought from the get-go.
Well, and maybe we need to question KPD again. I think it's like from what I can gather from that situation, it was. I don't want to speculate too much. If you read it though, I think you have a good understanding of what may have happened.
Yeah, apparently I read something like it could have been a robbery.
Yeah. Yes. Just go read about it, and then you kind of like. I think everybody can kind of come to the same conclusion that I have in terms of like. I think I see what's going to happen here. I think it may have ended up like the Davis situation where the person that was the victim, I guess, isn't going to press charges.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
guys, be smart.
No, yeah, be smart.
And especially linebackers. Holy crap. We're going to have to put linebackers on a 24-hour surveillance to keep them in check because we just keep losing them every single day.
Is it like is the bubble like scenario only okay during COVID, or can we just bubble them up for now?
Yeah. I mean, right now, the only scholarship player that you have at that position is Morven Joseph. And he didn't even play that position last year. So you got Will Albright, you got Enrique Valentine, and Sloan Page, and Morven Joseph. Aaron Willis, Martavius French, Aaron Beasley, Crouch, To'o, and of course J.J. Peterson never made it to campus. So you have all those guys that are just not – and Jeremy Banks is currently injured. So, that's basically all your linebackers from last season have kind of dwindled down.
At least this is happening when defense doesn't matter in the SEC. Like Nick Saban said it's dead. So
okay, yeah,
we're good.
I'd like to have some bodies there.
I wouldn't mind either. I wouldn't mind either. I wouldn't mind that either. All right, recruiting news. So
Tennessee doesn't have a commit yet. Hopefully that changes soon. But they have made some top schools for different prospects. So Destin Wade, Keaton Wade, the Wade twins from Summit High School in Spring Hill, Tennessee, both included Tennessee in the top 4 with Virginia, Kentucky, and Louisville, I'm pretty sure. And Keaton Wade, the 4-star linebacker, did not include Tennessee in his top 8. So Tennessee is able to gain ground there. And, have a good chance to land both of those twins from Spring Hill, Tennessee.
I like this.
And
need linebackers.
Need linebackers. Also state champions, so they know how to win. Love to see that. Number 1 running back in the country, Branson Robinson, per Rivals. I think he's out of Mississippi. He said Tennessee's future is bright, and he could see them competing in the college football playoff in a couple years. I don't know if he watched last season, but hey, I appreciate the optimism.
Yeah, thank you. Like you said,
and he also said Heupel's the funniest head coach he knows. I haven't seen that side yet, but
funny looking.
Yeah, maybe,
I can say that as a funny looking guy.
But I always thought it was weird that Jeremy Pruitt was such a relationship guy too, because he had zero emotion, and it seemed like he didn't have much of a personality.
But those are the kind of football coaches that all the kids love, though.
Right, that's true.
So I'm not shocked at the Pruitt thing. I'm not, but it's good to see everyone having fun. I mean, like you mentioned, having fun. I'm ready for the next episode of the Juice.
And then Walter Nolan. Top player, one of the top players in the country, number 1 player in Tennessee, did not include Tennessee in his top 8. Whatever. If you want to get in with the 5 stars, you're going to have to win football games. I think if Tennessee won football games, if they won 9 games, maybe Walter Nolan, takes a second look at him. It sucks because his high school coach at St. Benedict is Marlon Walls, who played at Tennessee, so that kind of is unfortunate.
Does sting.
But maybe he's making it easier on us. He's not keeping us in it till the end, and then picking another hat on signing day. So whatever. I'd rather kind of get that one over with if it wasn't going to come to fruition anyway.
I want the 5 stars.
Win games.
Yeah,
I
mean, you have to. You have to win games if you want to get players. At the end of the day, like that's what has to take place.
Mm-hmm.
That's what has to take place.
And I would rather spend time on somebody who might actually pick Tennessee than just keeping Tennessee in it just because they're the home state school or his high school coach played at Tennessee. I think Pruitt kind of did that a lot, where he would just get in with Marius Mims and all these 5 stars. Yeah, he might get one every now and then, but it just seems like we were always in it, but never really got those kind of players because we couldn't win football games.
Right. I mean, that's the bottom line with kind of how the 2021 class got started off, because you're coming off a 6-game win streak. Everything looks good. And then, you just got to win games. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's that simple.
You guys who want to be here.
More recruiting, though, for Tennessee basketball, I guess. Transfer portal recruiting? Can you call that recruiting? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it's recruiting.
Okay. Recruiting. Tennessee. Landon's transfer. And Landon said it last show. Mentioned how big Justin Powell would be. Well, Tennessee listened. They heard you.
Heard me, yeah.
They went out. They did it. They did the thing.
They did it. They get the former – he was a freshman last year at Auburn. Played in 10 games, averaged 11.7 points per game, 6.1 rebounds per game, 4.7 assists per game, and shot around 43% from the field, and I think 44% from the three. So, had back-to-back 26-point games against South Alabama and Memphis. Take that, Penny. And, from Kentucky. So I think he's only an hour and 20 minutes away from Lexington is his hometown. So, it's big because Kentucky was considered the favorite. He's also right outside of Louisville. So, they're expected to be in it as well. Chooses Tennessee. He said he likes the pieces Tennessee has. You get Kennedy Chandler. Then you get a 6'6" guy who can rebound, can shoot it, can get to the rim. I think this is a big pickup for Tennessee. He only played 10 games at Auburn, was out due to a bad concussion. And, it's nice to steal one away from Bruce Pearl and then, take him out of the grasp of Coach Cal at Kentucky. It was great to see.
Right. And I mean, just adding a guy, I mean, we talked about how big it's going to be to get Kennedy Chandler here in this next class. To add a guard that he's a good addition to what Kennedy Chandler's game already is. Kennedy Chandler can go to the hole. He's aggressive. Justin Powell's a sharpshooter. You already have Santiago Vescovi, who we think can kind of be that role, but really hasn't just had the guy that can get pressure away from him and be that spot up guy. So hopefully you have 2 this year in Justin Powell and Santiago Vescovi, especially with Kennedy Chandler being the aggressive guard he is. So I think it's going to be a great addition. I've already seen. I mean, some people have been like, Tennessee's best backcourt in the country. Pump the brakes. Thought we had them this year, so let's pump the brakes on it. But it regardless is exciting. They'll get a big man now.
Yeah, needs some size for sure. But this definitely helps. I think 247 Sports had Justin Powell listed as the number 8 transfer in the country, so Tennessee was able to land him. And, the last time they got a really good shooter from Kentucky, turned out okay. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, some people will say it was, they probably would have gone after the other Mr. Basketball winner in the state of Kentucky, but the experts might say that Chris Lofton was an okay guard.
He's pretty good. Wasn't bad. I think Chris Lofton was, friend of the pod. It was great to have him on. That was a really good episode. But he was listed as a number 2 player out of high school in Kentucky, and then Justin Powell was listed as a number 3. player out of Kentucky. So kind of similar, you know. Who knows? I'm
not trying to draw too many parallels, but
yeah.
not saying, just saying.
The shoe fits.
Exactly. More basketball news. Tennessee did announce their replacement, I guess, for Kim English. I don't know if it really is a replacement, but Rod Clark from Austin Peay was named to the Tennessee basketball staff today.
Go P.
Go P. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's as great of a hire as Kim English if we're gonna, nitpick it, but he's been around. He's been around a lot.
Yeah, he's a good young recruiter. He's done the kind of academy circuit. He was at Sunrise Christian, where actually Kennedy Chandler played his last season of did they win the national championship this weekend?
They lost to
Monteverde.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's where Kennedy Chandler played his last season of basketball. Got his team to the national championship, and so he was there for a couple of years, and then joined Austin Peay in July of 2020. So yeah, I think it's a young recruiter who's got some ties at different places. Obviously, you want guys with ties in those academies because that's where all the top talent is nowadays.
Right.
Some of those. So I think he'll do just fine recruiting to Tennessee, who's had a ton of success. So yeah, I think it's kind of wait and see, but yeah, it's a guy that has some ties and is younger, can relate to players, and has some college experience coaching.
Yeah, for sure. I think as far as getting an assistant coach in here, Tennessee's gonna play Rick Barnes basketball. So it's obviously not a huge deal. I just you've in the last 3 years, you've lost 2 great assistant coaches, which is tough. You also lost Desmond Oliver coming up to the Tri-Cities. Shout out. He'll be named. I think he was named today. I think they had a press conference. New head coach at ETSU. Go Bucks. So they will be looking to replace another assistant coach on the Tennessee staff. Rick Barnes said they acted quickly when replacing Kim English. See if they do that now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. You hate to lose those 2 guys. And it's a tough situation that Des Oliver's going into with what happened at ETSU. But definitely wish him, both of those guys, a ton of luck. And I think Kim English tweeted out, his, Tennessee got a great one and Rod Clark. So, hopefully it works.
Yep, for sure. The good thing is foundation's laid. Like Rod Clark and whoever else comes in for Desmond Oliver, they're not going to come in and kind of have to pick up some slack and go out and recruit guys or anything like that. Like they're coming into a good situation.
Got to keep that train moving. Yeah,
thankfully they don't have to come in here and kind of scramble to help Rick Barnes lay some foundation or anything like that. They do kind of get the best of it, which is good. That's what you want for assistant coaches coming into your program. So it's positive. All right, Vol baseball, the good stuff, the real good stuff.
Good stuff. I think you mentioned it. Best start in SEC play since 2001. 2-0 in SEC Road Series. That's the first time since 2005 when Tennessee went to the College World Series. It wasn't pretty all weekend.
No.
We struggled in games pitching. Chad Dallas, Blade Tidwell, kind of struggled a little bit. Sean Hunley on Friday night struggled a little bit, but you found a way, and that's what separates the good from the great.
Mm-hmm.
And so this team continues to find a way, continues to be aggressive, continues to make teams earn it. Alabama hit the ball well this weekend, and they had to earn every single run they got because Tennessee wasn't putting guys on base. Alabama walked 24 of our guys. So we drew 24 walks. They drew 8. So we had 16 more base runners just off walks than they did.
Right.
So now we loaded the bases 10 times, didn't get the runners on that we necessarily wanted. We left 31 runners on in the series. That's definitely not ideal. It's something that needs to get fixed. But again, you went on the road in the SEC against a quality opponent. There's not a lot to nitpick about. Friday you drop one, but you didn't fold. You kept grinding, and Saturday you head into the 11th inning, get 4 runs, kind of slam the door in Alabama, and then Sunday you jumped out to the lead. Alabama would come back every single time, but they fell short at the end. Sean Hunley comes in, been clutch out of the pen all year long, and really got it done. I think they had runners on second and third with 1 out, and gets 2 huge ground balls to get the series win.
Yeah, I mean, I think the grind is the definition of not just this weekend, but it's got to be the definition of this team. You talked about Tennessee's ability to get on base, whether it be a walk or what. I mean, their ability to go deep into at-bats, and that's what helps them get those walks. But, I mean, they're making pitchers work for it. And, that's going to – obviously, at some point, you got to start getting these guys home. You can't leave them stranded forever. But, I mean, again, we're talking about if you want to get to Series 4 and 5 win, you got to get to 3. You got to get those guys on base first. And Tennessee is definitely grind. They just grind to get guys on base any means necessary. They do have some good hitters, mostly in the top of the lineup that do a good job of getting on base. But everyone in the lineup is at least fighting those at-bats and making things happen all across the lineup. And this team's definitely going to need some extra spark against. You mentioned 7 in the top 15. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
7, 8.
We're the 4th. I think
I'm actually got
Mississippi State, South Carolina, and Florida, I think, are the ones behind us.
Now, this is according to D1 Baseball, which is a little bit different than I think USA Today's.
I think we're 5th in the SEC in that one.
Yes, we're 6th overall, 5th in the SEC. So 5, 6, 7. Florida, who Tennessee will face this weekend on the road, is that's a home game, isn't it? It's a home series.
Yep.
Sorry. Let's see, 7. So Florida's number 12 in that ranking. 7 in the top 15 there, 7 in the top 12. If you want to look at it that way. Definitely going to need some more spark when you face those better teams. But I think a lot of people have been like, Alabama's had a tough go of it to start. Arkansas, who they actually beat 16-0, is that what it was?
16-1.
16-1 in the first game of the season, or first SEC game of the season. But then Ole Miss and Mississippi State, or no, Ole Miss. This is the 3rd series.
Ole Miss, Arkansas. Yeah.
So Arkansas and Ole Miss. They faced some tough teams, and then Tennessee, who's ranked number 4 to number 6, depending on what ranking you look at. They've had a tough go of it to start. I think a lot of people are kind of expecting them to have a better back half of the season when they get kind of their easier part of the schedule. Easy in the SEC is kind of a really loose term, but maybe face some teams that they size up better against. And
that Alabama team, they can hit the ball all over the yard. I think their leadoff batter actually leads them in basically every hitting category. Their catcher's a really good hitter as well. They are missing their ace. He's only pitched 1 game this season, and it was out of conference. And you saw it Sunday. Saturday they used like 7 pitchers, and they probably used that many on Sunday too. I don't have the exact total in front of me. They use 5 guys on Sunday. So, not a great pitching performance by either team. Tennessee didn't have a lot, but, when pressure is on, they got it done. So, even when you didn't play your best baseball, you're still able to win. I was super impressed with the middle of the lineup yesterday. They went those 4 through 7 hitters. I think that was or 3 through 7. It was Rucker, Gilbert, Beck, and Lipsius combined to go 10 for 15 with 6 RBIs, and I think 5 walks between the 4 of them. So super impressive. I thought Logan Steenstra had a good series. He batted 9th, I think, on Saturday and Sunday, and he hit 3 off the wall that, he's probably killing himself that he didn't get an extra set of curls in before the weekend because he'd probably have 3 home runs.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think the you mentioned it, I mean, probably after the first SEC series, that the bottom of the lineup's got to get better, and I think it's getting. I mean, I think it's slowly but surely. You don't need them to be great. You don't need them to be as good as the top of the lineup. It's why the top of the lineup is the top of the lineup, but you need them to produce, and you're getting a little bit more production out of them slowly but surely.
Yep, Tennessee's not going to beat themselves, and they're not going to make they're going to make mistakes, but they don't make the same mistake twice. You saw that in the ninth inning yesterday, whereas Max Ferguson, I think the first batter of the ninth inning, hit one to him kind of deep, and he was playing a little bit in shallow right field and overthrew Lipsius to put a runner on. But then that with 2 outs, they hit one about the same spot, and he was able to corral that and get the third out and ultimately win the series. But Tennessee's going to make teams earn it. They're not walking a ton of people. That they're pretty good in the field. I think they've had some issues with errors, but Liam Spence wasn't at shortstop. I mentioned Logan Steenstra played shortstop, and he hasn't played there a ton this season. Liam Spence, I think, is dealing with a hamstring injury, but he was still able to bat. He DH'd, and I think he was 1 for 2 yesterday with 2 walks. I think on Saturday he had 3 walks and he was 2 for 2. So he got on base every time. So he's still, not able to do a ton of stuff in the field, not able to run a lot, but still a quality hitter for Tennessee and getting the job done when it's needed.
Yep. Exciting Tennessee team. Can't wait for the home series against Florida. Crowd, I'm sure, will be, especially for Florida, will be off the charts. Hey, don't be classy. There's no crying in baseball. There's no being classy in baseball. Okay.
Yeah, these next 2 weeks are going to be exciting, especially that atmosphere with Florida and then welcoming Vandy in 2 weeks. That's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see this team kind of grow a little bit. You faced some adversity this weekend on the road. Like I mentioned, you didn't play your best baseball, but you found a way.
Yep, that's the biggest thing. Finding ways to win. And sorry, Vitello, don't be upset with me. I didn't mean to look ahead. That's not the point. You got Eastern Kentucky tomorrow night at home. So got to play that game first. Wasn't trying to jump ahead. This is a team you face already this season. Was this game originally scheduled? Like, I guess you have Western Carolina again too. So yeah, it was. I didn't know if this was one that they got last week or picked up last week or something. I know COVID and teams canceling and schedules are crazy this year. I didn't know how that scheduling went into it. As far as playing a team like Eastern Kentucky again, I know some of the Tennessee teams I've seen them play twice, but I don't know if I've noticed out-of-state teams seen them play twice.
Yeah, I think it has been really tough for them to schedule opponents. But Eastern Kentucky, I think we mentioned this before we played them last time, but they've knocked off 2 ranked opponents this season in Georgia Tech and Louisville. So it's definitely not somebody you just want to look over. But I think it'll be a chance for guys to get some rest. Play some guys who normally wouldn't see a ton of action in the weekend. Guys like Kyle Booker, Logan Steenstra will probably see a lot of time against Eastern Kentucky, and hopefully they're more prepared when they're called upon later on in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to mention too, 11.7. They're college baseball. They're completely dedicated college baseball podcast. Whether you get a chance to listen to their podcast, follow them on Twitter. College baseball is very, very underrated as far like it's just because it's like it's the passion of SEC baseball, for example, is the passion of SEC football or basketball. It's just not covered. It's not as popular, but it is the talent. It is the passion. And I mean, not just SEC too, ACC baseball, and then Power 5 baseball, and even lower level baseball all over the country. I don't know how long they've been around. I just started following them this year. Seems like college baseball is getting more and more coverage. Not necessarily from like ESPN, but from people putting it on Twitter. And they're a great follow. I've kept up with more college baseball this year because of them, even though I've kept up with vol baseball for years now. They've got me keeping up with all of it, and it's a great follow on Twitter.
Yeah, it's just like you said, more coverage. D1 Baseball has done a really great job of really getting exposure to college baseball. And then, like you mentioned, that podcast does a great job. I actually got to listen to them a couple of days ago, and they do a fantastic job of breaking down. And it's not just like they're a fan of one team. They cover everything.
Right.
So that's what makes it great.
I mean, this week you would have, if you followed them this weekend on Twitter, you would have seen clips from Georgia State, clips from Vanderbilt. Like, I mean, top to bottom, everybody. It's a great follow if you want to keep up with college baseball, and you should, because like I said, it's just as passionate and just as far as talent goes too. It's there, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's continuing to grow. With Tennessee really becoming a national power. You've seen a lot more Tennessee fans kind of, I don't want to say bandwagon, but it kind of is jumping on the bandwagon a little bit. And,
I mean, you just pay attention more. It's I mean, we talked about it when we talked about kind of upgrading the facilities here, and I do want to ask you too about the Super Regional in a second. Mm-hmm. It's not hard to get fans to cheer for Tennessee baseball. You already have the massive Tennessee fan base that will literally cheer for anyone and everything in orange. So you just got to put a half decent product out there, and you've got them. Like, they're there, they're hooked. And Tony Vitello, what he's doing, it's just bringing those fans in quicker than ever. People who want to cheer, who want to spend the money, spend the time, just put a good product on the field, and they'll come. I mean, look at it's the same. It's the same at a little bit smaller level because it is baseball versus basketball. Because, I mean, college basketball has always been very, very popular. College baseball is recently becoming more popular, more talent getting there, at least like evenly spread across the board. But I mean, college basketball, look at you go from hanging curtains in the upper levels in Thompson-Boling Arena to 2 years later, you're selling out consistently on weeknight games with Bruce Pearl. It's like, I mean, that's Tennessee. That's Tennessee athletics.
Yep. Yeah, put a good product on the court or the field, and Tennessee fans are definitely going to jump on that at any opportunity.
Yeah. So Super Regional, like I said, I wanted to ask you about that. They're doing a little bit different this year. A lot of people don't like it. Fair, totally understand. They are going to at least give it to people who probably would have gotten it anyways. It's not just like handing it out to the best facility. So obviously right now, the way Tennessee sits right now, they get a Super Regional or they get a regional host, right? Like if it ended today, obviously it doesn't.
So I don't know exactly how they're like if they're doing it off rankings, yes. But I don't know if they actually I don't know if that's it just said it's predetermined. So they're picking it before. So yeah, you would assume that, but or they just doing it like kind of like the Final Four, the national championship. You're doing it in Indianapolis or the NCAA tournament, you're doing in Indianapolis because it was best suited for that.
But that was more so because of the bubble. You had so many stadiums and hotels. And I mean, like this, I think is more so to like have facilities get prepared for it. Like, you're not going to end up at a smaller school that's has an adequate enough facility to host multiple teams and multiple fan bases at your location. So I think this is the idea behind it. So I think it's going to be a combination of, yes, facilities that are good enough. I don't know where Lindsey Nelson stands on that but from my understanding too, I'm trying to read the article. I know I saw a tweet about it. It's going to be a combination of, I believe, adequate facilities and where they see those teams ranked at the end of the year. So making those predetermined picks based on what they know now and what they think will happen in the next month when things wrap up.
Yeah, that's definitely the hope. And I think Tennessee wouldn't have a problem with, the facilities from that standpoint. Yeah, they don't have the best facilities in the SEC by any means, but I think they're plenty good enough to host 4 teams for a weekend.
Right. And I'm trying to see if I can pull it up. I thought it was D1 baseball that had all of it, but
some teams are going to get like screwed from that because some of those teams could probably flip flop. You have 16 regionals,
right?
You have 16. Those top 16 seeds usually host the regional. Well, I mean those 12 to 16 could probably flip flop. So you just don't know. Some teams will probably get screwed that maybe earn their spot a couple weeks later and get in that top 16, but they've already predetermined it, so they kind of miss out of hosting. It would just really suck for Tennessee to finally get to that point to host a regional and not be able to. So that's
but hey, maybe some added motivation for the next year. They're kind of using this year. I know at least before the season, that staff and that program was kind of preaching like, hey, picking up unfinished business. Like we didn't even get to start last year. We're here to maybe next year if they don't get there, that's just write it on the board. That'll piss us off too, and we'll try to host a super regional next year.
God, I will riot if they don't. I will. Riot.
So this is from Jordan Rogers. It was D1 Baseball, or Kendall Rogers, not Jordan, from his account. Essentially, they're predetermined for both rounds, regional and super regional. And it is going to be they're based on merit in late April. So they are going to base it off of what you're doing in what you've done during the season as much as they know. So I mean, I think is a team going to get screwed out of it inevitably? Like that's the nature of it. But I mean, are they getting screwed out of it any more than they would have in a normal year? We'll see and find out.
Yeah, I mean, it just. I hate when we kind of put it in the hands of the NCAA because we've seen firsthand.
To be fair, isn't it always in their hands? Like I feel like again, they're always deciding the sites, not necessarily directly like they are right now, but they're always picking the teams that then host, right?
Yeah, but it's kind of like you have people who kind of project that, and it's very close to probably what the NCAA is going to do. So I just, it just makes me a little worried that Tennessee's right there, fighting for a spot to host a regional, and this comes out that we're predetermining it. It just kind of worries me a little bit.
I can't imagine that Tennessee, if they were a top 16 team come late April, that I don't know how would it be possible to be left out. We'll find out.
I just have trust issues with the NCAA.
That's fine. I certainly understand. I do get it. Okay, that's all I've got for Vol Baseball. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Get your shirts. Landon posted it last night. Go order them now. When's the cutoff date? You got a date yet?
Sunday.
Okay, so you better get on it. You got a week. Well, less than a week now. Yeah. Go do it. All right, March Madness. Gonzaga Baylor. Okay. You might – I doubt you're prepared for this because we briefly talked about it. I don't know if we were serious. I was serious because I'm a bench guy because the only time I played basketball I was a bench guy, and so my heart's there. We talked about us naming our own all-teammate team.
That's right, yeah.
I've got an all-teammate team.
Okay. I don't think I'm prepared for that.
No, you don't have to be. If you want to come at me after the national championship, if you want to go back. So here's what I did. We said that maybe the first round or before the first round of the tournament, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm looking for the best teammates.
Okay.
And that's all. I didn't even watch games. I just watched the bench. I didn't watch them. I was like, who's cheering, who's celebrating, who's talking the most trash, who's the holdback guy. I'm checking for the best teammate on every team. That's all I cared about. I didn't care about who won the games. I cared about the best teammate. Now, typically the guys who won were the best teammate. That's the nature of the business. So I'll go through mine. And you can disagree with me. You can agree with me. You can go, I don't know who those guys are because I didn't either. And I did a lot of research going into this because Google was my friend. In fact, I didn't know any of these guys until doing this. So besides one, and we'll go first with him, and that's Uroš Plavšić. Number one on the all-teammate team. This guy, if you're Tennessee fans, you all know now. I'm glad I went first with him. You know what a good teammate looks like. Cheering him on, celebrating the threes, celebrating the dunks, first guy on the court on timeouts, biggest celebrator after wins.
They're going to have to hire a get-back coach for Uroš.
Exactly. And that's the kind of teammate
always on the court.
That's the kind of teammate I want on my bench. And I also had a couple. Factors. Couldn't have a lot of minutes, and I made an exception for Uroš. Couldn't have a lot of minutes. Couldn't have a lot of points. Couldn't have a lot of stats. Uroš actually had the most of any. He had the most minutes, most points, and most rebounds of any player on this list. He had 71 minutes all season, 18 points, and 17 rebounds. He was number one.
That's a double-double.
It is. All season, guys. All season long. All right, my next one. UCLA, Russell Stong. I think that's how you say his name. Don't even know how to say his name. All teammate team. He's the guy. He's the guy. He was electric on the sidelines through UCLA's entire run. You can't miss him. He was a combination of the get-back guy and the guy who had to get backed. Like, he was everything. He was everywhere. He was all over the place, celebrating every single moment. I think he cried the most after the buzzer beater. I mean, just electric teammate. All season, again, stats for all season: 5 minutes total, 2 rebounds, 1 assist.
Oh, wow.
That's a teammate. That's a guy you want on your side. He's going first in pickup. He's getting picked first. I know that for sure. Next one. You're going to like this name. Paul Heipler, Abilene Christian.
I remember this one.
You might know him as the horns down guy. You can't leave him off the list. 64 minutes, 13 points, all season long. That's it.
No assist?
He might have had some. That was the only one I really had there.
I want more double-doubles, Caleb. That's what I'm here for.
I'm sorry. I can go back and look for Paul Heipler. You'll love this one.
Okay.
And I haven't seen anybody's bets rolling in yet. Mark Patterson. He's the Baylor walk-on who got a scholarship the night before the Houston game. Do you know what he did in the Houston game?
Took a charge.
He had 2 points in the Houston game. Dang. He overhit because of those 2 points. That's a guy. Like, he's not just a teammate for Baylor. He's a teammate for us, the overs. That's a teammate. And then I think all of his accolades, this is a guy that he was one of the celebrators. He's a bench guy. He's a big bench guy. I also need to note that the 2 points that hit the over, guess how many points he had all season long?
Two.
14. Close. 14 all season long, 2 points. Hit the over. Won a lot of people money.
Okay.
I bet that's going to be one of Wednesday. We've got a bad beats segment. I bet that's one of Chad's bad beats. I guarantee you he took the under. I really don't remember what he said, but I guarantee.
Y'all know Chad. He is literally the worst bettor of all time. And he's stubborn, so he's probably not listening to this. That's why I can talk crap about him. But I would tell this to his face. He's terrible.
I would say it to his face.
Yeah.
My last teammate. Don't worry, I've got a coach's squad for you too. I might have spelled his name wrong. But he doesn't care because he's an all-teammate guy. Amat Patterson from USC. Big time celebrator. He was the dance guy on the bench. If you watched USC at all, he was always dancing. He's 5'7". Love that about him. 5'7" guy. Can't get better than that as a guard. He had 50. He had 5. Oh, he wears number 55. That's my favorite part about him. Number 55.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the big random number guy.
Well, Jason Williams.
Yes, probably he doesn't care who that is, but you would get it if you saw him. He had 5 minutes this year. He played for 5 minutes, but love this stat: 8 points. He doesn't need a lot of minutes. He has more points than minutes. Give him the ball, coach. That's my all teammate team. I've got some coaches.
You want to win? Put these guys in.
Exactly. No, don't put them in. That's the point. Leave them on the bench. Let them celebrate. That's what they're there for.
Or maybe put them in every once in a while.
They
deserve some garbage minutes.
Just a few minutes per game, nothing more. Just a few minutes per game. All right, so I had a coach before Friday night. I had a coach. It was Nate Oates. He's a teammate guy. He's on the court celebrating. He's the first one out for timeouts, high-fiving, chest bumping. The FU LSU, I loved that. But I'm sorry, Nate Oates, you completely got dethroned on Friday night by Coach Barnes from Arizona. I mean, freaking electric factory, double bird, FU Gino Auriemma, had her team chanting it looked like in the huddle.
Yeah.
I love that. That's it. She's the all teammate team leader.
They should have just gave her the national championship after that.
100%. Did you watch that game? I'd guilty. I bet on it. Didn't watch it.
Did you win your bet?
Nope. Bet on Arizona. Money on.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to do that, but I saw where Arizona had lost twice already to Stanford, so I was like, nah, I'm gonna leave that.
Hey, it's harder to beat them the third. It's harder to beat them the third time. Okay.
Yep. Gonna let it be
for sure. Yeah. So that's my all teammate team. I'll tweet it out later. I'm sure some people would disagree. That's fine. You don't have to agree with me. Those guys, though, would cheer for you whether you agree with them or not because they're all teammates. So your guys that you bring at me better be those kind of people. If they're not, disregard it. I'll disregard it.
Love it.
National championship.
You know, that team really hits home for us because in middle school, me and Caleb were right there beside each other at the end of the bench. I don't know how great teammates we were. I think we were just kind of mad that we weren't getting in the game. But
listen, if the guy in front of me could have made threes, I would have celebrated them. Okay.
Exactly.
All right, tonight's game, Gonzaga and Baylor. We're going to get you out of here in about 10 minutes, so you can you go pee, grab a beer before me. I'm going to get ready for bed, take my contacts out, wash my face, and then I'm laying down. But you do you. Who wins tonight? That's a great question, David, Alabama. I got sick saying that name. I'm taking Gonzaga. You said it. Like, they're the team. Like, how do you get to this? Like, the Kentucky team lost in the Final Four, the undefeated one. How does this team lose?
Yeah, I mean, see, like, it's making me think, like, if Houston could have made it a close game with Baylor, I would have said, oh, yeah, Gonzaga hands down. But the fact that Baylor just destroyed Houston.
They get the coast, yeah.
Maybe that says something. They get to rest up a little bit longer. They had the day game, so I don't know. It feels like Gonzaga is destined to win, but Baylor's made it interesting.
Yeah, they definitely made it interesting. And I like Baylor. I've liked Baylor all year in terms of, like, I think they just have the ability to suffocate teams. But can they? What I think Baylor's been good at, and I know that it doesn't really show in that Houston game, they just dominated for the entire time, but they'll go on these 2-minute runs where no team's been able to keep up with them for 2 minutes. And then, then they'll play close basketball for 6 or 7 minutes. And then they'll go on a 2-minute run where they suffocate you again until they eventually get out to an 8-point lead, a 10-point lead. And they just suffocate teams. I don't know if they have the ability to do that against a team like Gonzaga.
Yeah, I think it's going to take an incredible shooting night from Baylor to really have a chance. I think if Baylor does win, I think it's close. But I think if Gonzaga wins, you could see anywhere from like a 10-point to 6-point game. Okay,
interesting. See, I think we're going to get another buzzer beater tonight.
Okay, that'd be cool.
I think we're going to get another buzzer beater. I think that doesn't mean it wins. It could tie it, and then we could get an overtime that's a little farther apart. But I think we get another. I'm feeling another buzzer beater. Maybe, okay. You got to at least spot me a halftime. If there's a halftime buzzer beater, it has to count. Okay.
What about a shot clock?
No. I don't think either of these teams are going to get deep in the shot clock tonight.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I want to take that FanDuel over the 163, but I just can't make myself do it.
Oh, I did it, baby. We're riding the over.
It's 163, or did you do 159?
I think I did them both. I did like whatever the over was at, and then I did that boost as well. Gotcha. So I think I did them both. I think it's going to be a very, very high scoring affair. I mean, I agree with you being on a national stage. Changes it, but I mean, they did it the last 2 nights already. What's tonight going to do?
Right.
All right, so official prediction, I'm going Gonzaga. I'm going Gonzaga by 4, so a little bit more than yours. If you were to take Gonzaga, I'm going Gonzaga by 4.
So you think Baylor covers?
Yes, that would be Baylor covering. Yeah.
Okay. I'll go I want to pick Baylor so bad. You know what? Screw it.
Look smart.
Screw it. I'm going to Baylor, but I'm going Gonzaga covers the boost of 4.5.
Okay.
And we win big money tonight. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, DraftKings has the boost where it's plus 100, Gonzaga plus 4.5. You can do a max bet of $25 on that. If you want to do that, if you want to hedge it with Baylor money line, and you could double dip in this. So you get Baylor money line. I put 15 on it. So basically you come out even if
Baylor wins, though.
Wait, what?
You need Baylor to win, pretty much. No, Gonzaga covers. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. If Gonzaga wins, you win 25. If you want to put 15 on Baylor money line, then I think I put 15 on it. If Baylor destroys Gonzaga,
so
they beat them by 5 or more, then you come out even. But if Gonzaga covers and Baylor wins,
double dip.
Then you double dip and win about $50.
So you're calling the double dip, right? Like that's what you're going for.
What I want, yeah.
Okay, and you're calling it. Are you trying to speak it into existence?
I mean, I think it's going to be close. I really do. I think Baylor. I think Baylor's just shooting the ball really well right now. I like their guards. I don't think they're going to let Kispert just drain 3 after 3 on them. I think if they're able to stay out of foul trouble and knock down some threes, I think Baylor would be just fine in this game.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun one. Can't wait. Again, I've got to stay awake for one shiny moment. I'm going to set an alarm clock for one shiny moment so I wake up to watch it because I probably will fall asleep. I'm an old man.
Yeah.
Most important of the week. I'm sorry.
I'm tired too. I'm ready. I'm kind of ready to go to bed now, but, got to win this money. Most important. What about the sold-out crowd at the Rangers game?
I love it.
Arlington.
I know a lot of people are going to be upset about it, and a lot of people are going to be, assholey excited. There's going to be assholes on both sides, but
it's good for sports for it to kind of get back to normal.
I'm hoping sports get back to. I mean, I hope no one gets sick or gets anything like that from it, and I hope sports get back to normal. So that's it. My first most important is Jordan Spieth. I mentioned it earlier in the episode. Texas is back. Jordan Spieth won. He also got a little chirp from a young fan this week at the Valero Open. He had a tough shot right off the cart path this week, and a young kid, could not have been older than 10 years old, said right before he lined up for his shot, said, "Jordan, are you going to try something stupid here?" And then Jordan hit an incredible shot. I wish he had done the bowling guy who's like, "Who do you think you are? I am." That guy.
Mm-mm.
You haven't seen that video?
I don't think so.
I'll just send it to you. He bowls a strike to win the PBA championship, and just the most electric celebration. "Who do you think you are? I am," is what he says. Yeah, no idea what it means, but apparently he said in an interview that he was yelling at a kid that had been chirping him all night, and then he was yelling that at him. So Jordan Spieth should have just done that to that kid.
Yeah,
just let him know.
I am.
Yeah, just let him know.
I'm gonna go with Ohtani, the pitcher hitter.
Golly, dude.
For the Angels, was great on the mound. He threw 8 pitches at least 100 miles an hour or over. 2 hits, 5 walks, 1 earned run, and hit an absolute bomb.
Yeah,
I think the first pitch he saw.
Really?
Yeah. In that game, and batted second. I think he's the first batter to do that since 1903. To pitch and bat in the 2-hole. So yeah, just you don't see a lot of that anymore. So I think it's great to see, and the sound that bat made when it hit that ball was just got me going.
Dude, he's ridiculous. Someone was like, someone was like, I'm pretty sure he's the first guy to ever throw over 100 and hit over 115 miles an hour. And someone was like, "Oh, you should check that out, Babe Ruth." Someone was like, he never threw pitches over 100 miles an hour.
No. I was talking with Brody today about every team has guys throwing 100 now.
Right.
It used to be Aroldis Chapman was the only one, and now basically everybody's got. Garrett Crochet had a good outing the other day.
Yeah, he did.
Just some nasty pitches.
He's filthy. I mean, he is filthy. Hopefully he stays healthy. I know he's battled some things. He could have a really good year for the White Sox.
Yeah. You have any more most important?
I don't have any more most important.
Got some fails?
I thought I had a fail. I don't want to use that one.
I have one more most important.
Okay.
I forgot to mention this. So the Panthers signed former BYU wide receiver Micah Simon, who went undrafted last year, but ran a 4.3, and then he ended up catching passes from Zach Wilson at his pro day, and they signed him after that. So
nice.
Pretty cool. You don't see a lot of that kind of getting noticed at somebody else's pro day. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't have any fails. I mean, other than maybe are we going to call the Panthers getting Sam Darnold a fail?
Yeah, you can.
Why? The graphic, though, was legendary. I know
great.
It was a fantastic graphic. Why did they get him?
I don't know. He's young, I guess. And maybe they think, with some actual players around him that he can maybe do something. I just think they're kind of screwed out with their pick. All the four of the top quarterbacks are going to be gone. So,
Right.
I don't hate it. And with Deshaun Watson having the issues he's having, maybe.
Yeah, they couldn't go out and get him. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's kind of you play the cards you're dealt. But, yeah, definitely not something I'm super excited about.
You have any fails?
I do. So, did you see the Cardinals and Reds kind of bench clearing brawl?
Yeah, I did. Why did what's his name only get suspended?
Why did he get suspended?
Well, yeah, that. But why was he the only one? If you're going to suspend him, why did you only suspend him?
Yeah. I just don't get it. Like you see that in the NBA basically every time they dunk a basketball.
Right.
He was hit. Like they hit him in that inning, and then he slides in safely where the pitcher's at, and he stands over him. I don't have you didn't. The issue is you didn't suspend any of the Astros for anything.
That too. Yes. That's another thing too, is like you're just Rob Manfred's an idiot. That's the bottom line.
Terrible.
That's the bottom line.
Just soft. Who cares? I mean, it was good TV.
Good TV. Great TV.
I mean, when is anybody ever going to really watch the Reds and the Cardinals play?
No one actually
tuned in because of that.
No one actually was watching, so that's part of the issue. Is not a lot of people saw it. Like Rob Manfred was like, I didn't even know they were playing tonight.
But it made the highlights.
Yeah, exactly. You got any more?
That's all I got.
Guys, appreciate y'all listening. We'll let you get off here. National Championship set to start here in just a few minutes. Enjoy it. I know it's late. We'll be back on Wednesday talking fall baseball. Hopefully we get another episode of The Juice by then so I can get juiced. Of course, we'll be talking football, maybe know some more about some basketball assistants back on the staff. We'll be talking about it all.
You getting your chili hot?
Oh, my chili's always stays hot.
That's all we got. Guys, thanks for listening. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.